Dr. Umar Johnson, and this night will be a awakened consciousness, a woke consciousness with melanated people. So this is going to be great. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you.
Have you ever wondered, where are the local Black businesses? How can I market to my specific community? Where can I find resources to start my own business? Is this even possible in San Diego? Well, the answer is yes. At www.buyblacksd.com, you will find a comprehensive list of local Black-owned businesses, or BOBs, as we like to call it. There, you can browse local businesses by category and gain product and service information, as well as linking up through social media to really drive business, and you can connect without leaving the site. In addition to the listings, there are business resources, message boards, an event calendar, and much more. If you haven't been there yet, what are you waiting for? Log on to www.buyblacksd.com, where it's cool to be Black, build Black, and buy Black. Buyblacksd.com.
Peace and Pan-Africanism, brothers and sisters. This is the Prince of Pan-Africanism, Dr. Umar Johnson. We are live at the house of Queen Mother Makeda, World Beat Cultural Center, 2100 Park Avenue, San Diego. This is my home. Whenever I come to San Diego, today we were celebrating the 97th solar return of the greatest since Garvey, Malcolm Little, aka Malcolm X, aka El Hajj Malik El Shabazz. 97 years of Brother Malcolm, rest in paradise. And so today, my message was dedicated to Brother Malcolm, but make sure you support World Beat Cultural Center. Make sure you come through. If you African and you in the state of California and you never been to World Beat Cultural Center, then you not on your game. Make sure you stop by. They got the food, the music, the concerts, everything. 2100 Park Boulevard, San Diego. Get here.
Put your hands together for Dr. Umar Johnson. Come on.
San Diego, California, make some noise! Black Power family, go ahead and take your seats. It's good to be back in San Diego. The last time I stood on this stage was January the 28th and 29th of 2017. On the 28th, we had a Black Parent Boot Camp here from 8 a.m. until 8 p.m. Some of you were here for that, where I trained you on how to advocate for your children in the schools. We'll talk a little bit about that. We did another Black Parent Boot Camp in Long Beach, California, that Sister Hanera hosted. I'm going to do one more for California, only because California is the largest state, and I want to make sure I hit the South as well as the North, so I'm going to do another boot camp in Oakland. But the last time I was here, we did the boot camp on the 28th, and we came back the next day and I did a lecture. That was almost 5.5 years ago. About 6 months after I left you all here in San Diego, I learned of a school that was for sale in Wilmington, Delaware, 20 minutes from my hometown of Philadelphia, which is now the Frederick Douglass and Marcus Garvey Academy. And I want to say thank you to all my Southern California Africans who supported us through this 8 years of fundraising and school hunting. A lot of our donations came from San Diego. A lot of our donations came from Los Angeles, from all over the state of California. So if you are a donor in here today, I want to say thank you for standing by us.
You're welcome.
With that being said, I want to also invite everyone to the Frederick Douglass and Marcus Garvey Academy this coming Saturday, September the 10th. Mark that date. September the 10th, we will be having our second annual Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy Family Festival. We had the first one last year. It was phenomenal. The Most High blessed us, and the ancestors looked out for us. There will be food, vendors, performances, a stage, games, giveaways, drumming. If you want to be a vendor or if you want to be a performer, outside on the FDMG stage. And if you plan to just come and be a participant, make sure you go to FDMGFestival.com and register yourself and your children. It's free, but we need you to be registered because if you're not, you don't get the free gifts that come with attending the event. So again, that's FDMGFestival.com. And please do bring your children because we have a whole game section for the children where we introduce them to the old school games we used to play. Potato sack and those types of games. Picking up the apple and shooting the basketball and getting them back into the culture of physical fitness, and they add up points and they get tickets and then they can cash them tickets in at the end of the day for some very nice gifts. Our festival is very much about the family. We have stuff for children as well as adults, and we want to see all of you there. And if we are blessed enough, there's a strong chance that the Honorable Marcus Garvey Elementary School of FDMG might just be ready in time for September 10th. And if that happens, if the school is ready by the festival on September 10th, we're going to have a conference indoors at the same time we have the festival outdoors. And once FDMG is fully renovated, we're working on the elementary school now. Hopefully that's done by the festival. And then after the festival, we start working on the Frederick Douglass High School. We have two schools right across the street from each other. They look at each other. Once the campus is fully renovated, your campus, I'm just a facilitator, it's yours. But once the school is fully renovated, we will be the largest independent African school in the country, and we will be the only independent African school in the United States that operates two real school buildings. Not a church, not a storefront, not your basement. I said a real school building. We will be the only one in the country with two of them. So brothers and sisters, I want to say thank you. Now let's talk about what's been going on in the world. A couple of days ago, a Neanderthal walked into a supermarket in Buffalo and murdered 10 Africans. Most of them were elders. The supermarket that he went into is only 3 blocks away from the church that I speak in when I go to Buffalo, New York. If you think that massacre, that act of terrorism against African people was an isolated incident, you are out of your mind. If you think that 18-year-old just woke up one day and started planning that by himself, you are out of your mind. I firmly believe that there are cells of white supremacy in operation. And these cells are recruiting white youth to carry out the agenda of white elders. The children are just the pawns and the pansies. They are not the mind behind the actions. We have to start being more security conscious as a people, not just in institutions like this, but even in your home. Dylan Roof, Charleston, South Carolina, June 17, 2015. I had just spoken in Charleston the night before he went on his killing spree. I was actually in flight back to Philadelphia while Dylan Roof was in Mother Emanuel having Bible study with our ancestors. Here's the question we gotta ask ourselves as African people. How can a non-African walk into a black institution and get asked no questions, no pat down, no security, no identification, no questions about why are you here, and sit and participate in Bible study, and as soon as the prayer was over, he stands up, pulls out his weapon, and starts killing folks? leaving one person alone intentionally so they could tell what he had done. Do you think you're going to walk into a Jewish synagogue and participate in their prayer circle? You think you're going to walk into a Chinese church and participate in their prayer circle? You think you're going to go into a masjid run by Arabs and just because you feel like being Muslim that day, they're just going to let you sit there and pray? Nobody allows people from outside the culture to walk in without getting some type of a security screening except black folks. Because we are the only colorblind race in this country. We're the only people who allow our religious beliefs to dictate our political behavior. And as long as we allow our political beliefs to our religious beliefs to dictate our political behavior, it's going to be almost impossible for us to rescue ourselves from 21st century slavery. I would never tell you to hate another group of people. We are Africans. We are the mothers and fathers of civilization. Every race came from us. And I don't think that we have to hate people in order to achieve liberation. I don't think we have to imitate our oppressor in order to get free of oppression. I don't think you have to become a psychopathological narcissist in order to overcome psychopathological narcissism. But you do have to understand your enemy. And the problem with African people is we do not like to accept the reality in which we live. Post-traumatic slavery disease is all about what? Post-traumatic slavery disease is all about the falsification of African consciousness. Post-traumatic slavery disease is the issue that we have as a people where we cannot perceive and interpret our reality as it is because of conditioning by the white power structure and conditioning by the black church. Your religious beliefs and your socialization by the American white power structure has corrupted your common sense to guide you in your decision-making process. Common sense is the cousin of intuition. And if your common sense does not work, you are a risk factor to the safety of African people. Religion teaches us to turn our common sense off. You might know that this is the wrong thing to do, but because you've been indoctrinated to believe that Jesus said it is a sin to be for your race first, you automatically feel you must be for every race before you for your own. I don't have a problem giving compassion to the Native American struggle. I don't have a problem with you giving compassion to the Mexican struggle or the Latino struggle or the Chinese struggle or the East Indian struggle or the Arab struggle. I don't have a problem with you having concern for other branches of the human family. But I'm trying to understand how your concern for other branches of the human family supersede your concern for your family. Let's take the Ukrainian crisis. When Russia invaded the Ukraine, every Negro in America was making videos of talking about how we got to come to the aid of the Ukrainians because Ukraine has been invaded by Russia. So black folks got to donate money and send water and food and clothes, and I'm scratching my damn head. Because I said America bombed Somalia, I didn't see y'all in a rush to donate to Somalia. I see America kept the Haitians at the border, beating them with whips and putting them in concentration camps, but you didn't go that crazy for the Haitians like you did for the Ukrainians. I see our brothers and sisters in the Congo and Central Africa been catching hell for years, a genocide, but no t-shirts over that. No GoFundMe's over that. No saving the money over that. You just had an Ethiopian crisis that claimed lives, but that didn't get your attention either. Because your love for white folks supersedes your concern for black folks. And I'm trying to understand how American Africans have a bleeding heart for the immigrants. I'm not against the immigrants, but I am against us not using our common sense and historical knowledge to understand that every immigrant group that has ever come to America has aligned itself with the white power structure against you. No immigrant group has ever stood next to black folks in a quest for your freedom, justice, and equality. If you know one, I want to hear it. No one has ever fought with you or for you, but every group waits until you die and struggle and go to jail, and then they pass the civil rights bill and they say it's for everybody. And then everybody gets more from what your ancestors died for than you, because you feel you have to be multicultural in everything that you do. So here's my question. Who practices multiculturalism except Negroes? Chinese don't practice multiculturalism. They are so dedicated to being Chinese that even when they need somebody to work in their store, they put the help wanted sign in Chinese so your ass can't read it. Nobody believes in multiculturalism, and guess what? I'm not upset with them. You're not supposed to believe in multiculturalism. You're supposed to build up for your group first. When Chinese come to America, Arabs come to America, everyone who comes to America, what's the first thing they do? Build an economic empire around their culture. The first thing they do, where's the black community? Where's the Chinese community? Where's the Jewish community? Where's the Italian community? Where's the Kuwaiti community? They look to do what? Build up a cultural empire. We've been here 400 years plus. We ain't got a black Wall Street nowhere, but yet you a $2 trillion people. I'm trying to understand how a $2 trillion people is waiting on reparations to get your act together while you blow $2 trillion a year. I need some help with this, because I got Negroes saying, Dr. Umar, we need the reparations in order to fix our situation. Really? When you're spending $2 billion a year on Air Jordans, $4 billion a year on liquor and alcohol, $1 billion a year on McDonald's alone, $700 million a year on chicken, turkey, beef, and pork, several $billion a year on video games. Children's cologne is a $24 million empire. But you need reparations. So let me get this right. You're going to be more responsible with your ancestors' money than you are with your own? Who believes that? You Negroes ain't going to use no reparations to empower the black community. If we get $1 trillion today, Mercedes-Benz will be $1 trillion richer tomorrow. The weave shop, the perm shop, Gucci, Louis, Lamborghini, and everybody else. In fact, I'm of the opinion, brothers and sisters, that reparations should wait for another generation of Africans to carry the fight, because we have not shown ourselves to be a responsible enough generation to handle the reparations of our ancestors. Let me explain something. Reparations is not for Negroes walking the planet right now. Some of you think reparations is for you. No, it's not. Reparations is for those who have come, those who are here, and those who have still yet to come. That money is to benefit the race, not 21st century Negroes. See, if I'm in charge of reparations, if you dating, mating, or marrying outside your race, you don't get no damn reparations. Because you are not going to take my ancestors' hard, unpaid labor and take it home to your white wife. You're not going to do that. You're not going to do that. You're not, that's an insult. You get your cut of your ancestors' unpaid pain, and you're going to take it back to a member of the oppressors group. Now, for my non-Africans in the building, I got nothing against you personally. I want to be clear. Because some of you are listening like I'm listening to him. He making some sense, but it sounds like he don't like you if you're not black. That's not true. I respect and love all members of the human family. But my priority is my own. And when you are amongst your culture, your priority is your own. So what I'm saying is no different than what you say when you're around people who look just like you. It's just that black people are so politically uneducated that when non-Africans come amongst us, telling us what we want to hear, we think it's the truth. That's the only difference. See, everybody got two personalities. You have your own personality as an individual, but then you also have a group personality. You ever see white folks by themselves? They so nice, but then when the other Europeans walk in a room and they have a sizable majority, the personality changes. The conversation changes. The behavior changes. See, you never know a person and what they truly think about Africans until you are the minority amongst the majority of them. Then you really get to see what they think about black folks. See, here's the question. If everybody loved black people so much, why nobody dying for us? If everybody loved black people so much, why nobody sacrificing for us? See, this is why I got a big problem with the hip-hop culture and entertainment in general. Because we love to roll out the red carpet for non-African people, don't we? And rap, soul food, jazz, anything African people do, drumming. I was at a voodoo celebration for the Haitian Revolution in Marcus Garvey Park, Brooklyn. This is voodoo to celebrate the anniversary of the Haitian Revolution. My birthday, August 21st, 1791. And I get to Marcus Garvey Park in Brooklyn because I get invited to speak. They said they want you to speak at the Bois Kwa Iman celebration. When Bookman Dada, the Jamaican priests, initiated the revolution with a ceremony for the ancestors and an offering to the Orisha Ogun. And I said, oh yes, I'm coming. That's me. Toussaint, Dessalines, Christophe, I'm there. And I show up, and it's a white woman running a Haitian. And 3 white drummers with no rhythm. And then my Haitian brothers and sisters in New York City said, Dr. Umar, she's the highest ranking person when it comes to celebrating the Haitian Revolution in New York City. A white woman. You know why? Because you are colorblind and you love other people to come in and misappropriate African culture. And what y'all fail to realize is although they might like your music, they might like your clothes, they might want your jewelry, they want the big truck with the rims, they might want a black butt, they might want some full black lips, they might want everything about you as black people. But guess what they do not want? To ever be mistaken for a black person. DJ Khaled can act black all day, but if the police pull his ass over, I promise you, if they mistake him as black, he will correct them. Kim Kardashian can get all the butt injections she wants, but if she get pulled over by the police, ladies, I promise you, if they mistake her for a mixed race sister, she will correct them. DJ Vlad, Macklemore, Eminem, all these non-Africans making millions off your cultural art forms. They come to your award shows and dance and have fun and wear your clothes, and you say, they black too, look, they act just like us. Have you ever seen them during the protest, though? Have you ever seen them during the riot or the rebellion, though? When do you ever see them struggling for black people as they make millions and billions off of black culture? Stop being a sucker. You don't see nobody else letting people exploit their cultural property. And then last June, President Biden makes Juneteenth a federal holiday. Negroes are celebrating. Last federal holiday was Dr. King Day back in the 1980s. So they gave Negroes 2 holidays in a row. And you drinking the coon juice. But here's my question. When President Biden got elected, the first thing he did, on the first day of office, he didn't even wait. He signed the anti-transgender bill. And guess what? I ain't got no problem with him signing that because I don't think nobody should be physically harmed I don't agree with the lifestyle, but you have a right to live and exist and eat and work. So I don't have a problem with that. But I'm trying to figure out how that got passed before there was an anti-discrimination against African people bill. How did they get it before the people who built the damn country? And then you get Negroes who say, well, Dr. Umar, in all fairness, the gay fight and the black fight are the same. I don't know what you're talking about. Last time I checked, homosexuals wasn't put on ships and forced to work for free. Last time I checked, homosexuals wasn't considered to be less than a human being. Last time I checked, they were never legally allowed to be owned by another people perpetually and intergenerationally. Do you understand the enslavement of African people was a perpetual ownership? They not only owned you, they owned your child. They owned the baby in your womb. And when that baby was born, they owned that baby. And when the slave master died, he transferred ownership of your grandchild to his grandchild. That never happened to homosexuals. But here you go again, wanting to fit in with people who don't like you. So everybody who got an issue, we got to automatically make it equal to the black issue because we don't want to stick out like a sore thumb. Because you fail to realize the only way you're going to get the redress you search for is if you stick out like a sore thumb. Blending in is death for black folks. See, the fact that you have nothing in common with no other group is to your advantage. It's actually to your advantage to say, wait a minute, I didn't choose to come here. I was forced. Not only that, I built the fabric of this country. Not the Ukrainian refugees, not the Afghani refugees, not the LGBTQs. No, Africans built the foundation of America. So when you deal with us exclusively with no other group attached. That's right. But because of your low self-esteem, you want to be grouped in. So they call you people of color. You want to be grouped in, they call you non-white. You want to be grouped in, disadvantaged. And once they group you in amongst 20 other groups, including white women and LGBTQs, which is interesting, because how can you be a privileged white male and also be a minority because you're gay? How can you be a privileged white female and also be a minority because you're gay? That's a contradiction. I'm a minority over here and a majority over here. It's just a tactic to redirect the resources right back to white folks because black people don't want to stand up and say, you're going to deal with me as a black person only. You're not going to lump no other group in with me. But because we like to get lumped in, they let all the other groups steal all your resources. They get all your business loans, all your grants, and then you get left with nothing and you wonder why. Because you let them define you out of existence by calling you a minority. So they'll say, we gave minorities 25% of the contracts in San Diego. And you looking around and say, I don't know a single black person with a contract. You know why? Because you ain't got one. They gave them to all the other groups because you allowed yourself to be put under an umbrella category. The worst thing you can do is allow yourself to be put in under an umbrella category. Because that's how you make it look like you're taking care of black folks when you ain't taking care of them at all. So he passed the transgender bill, first day of office. And then a year ago, we have the Asian murders in Atlanta, the Parlor murders. My heart goes out to the family of those who passed. It was a shame for those Asian women to be murdered like that. I ain't afraid to say that. But I'm trying to understand how President Biden passes an anti-Asian hate bill within weeks after these 8 women were murdered. Black folks have been getting murdered for 400 years, and there's no anti-African American hate bill. The games they play. And then he starts a White House initiative on Asians and Pacific Islanders. And I don't have a problem with that. But how does it come before mine? I was here before them. How do you take care of other groups before you take care of me? And I'll tell you how. Because you Negroes are still on the Democratic Party plantation. You got your dungarees on, you got your straw hat, 2 front teeth missing, watermelon in your back pocket. You on the Democratic Party plantation, and you Negroes still don't understand that the only thing different between the Democrats and the Republicans is the Republicans tell you the truth, and the Democrats feed you false hope. That's the only difference. Bill Clinton locked up more black people than any president in American history. Democrat Barack Obama took everything our ancestors died for and gave it to everybody else but you. Democrat Joe Biden won't even mention you. And guess what? You can't really even blame Joe Biden. You know why? Because he was Obama's vice president. He sat next to Obama for 8 years and watched you Negroes worship him like Jesus while he did nothing for you. Barack Obama is the first president in American history who was not asked to do anything for black people. So when Donald Trump gets elected, who would have never been elected had Obama not been in office, he does nothing for black people either because you done already set the precedent. See, you Negroes messed it up for our great-grandkids with your hopeless romanticism for the Democratic Party. Because you didn't make Obama do nothing, Donald Trump said you. I know I ain't got to do nothing. They had a black man for 8 years and they have to do nothing. And Joe Biden is like, I'm not going to mess up my relationship with the conservative Democrats because black folks want me to do something. Why y'all didn't make Obama do nothing? All the police killings of innocent black folks, Obama did nothing about it. But the white president got to do something, but the black president don't. Worst thing we could have did was tell America Obama don't have to do nothing but be black. See, the black vote works for everybody except black people. And you know why your vote don't work for you? Because you don't have a race-based political platform. You don't have a race-based political union. You don't have a race-based political party. Your vote is schizophrenic and bipolar. Your vote has no method or madness. And we're the only people in the country who are told to vote not to get resources, not for change, not for assets, not for opportunity. See, Asians vote for resources, assets, and opportunities. Latinos and Arabs and East Indians and Jews and Anglo-Saxons, they vote for resources, assets, and opportunities. You don't vote for resources, assets, and opportunities. You vote to keep the bad guy out. That's why you vote. Why did you vote for Joe Biden? Because the black bourgeoisie of the Congressional Black Caucus said, better Biden than Trump. You never said why. They just said it's better for Biden than Trump because Trump is the devil. And so you voted for Joe Biden out of a fear of what Donald Trump would do to black folks. But guess what? He could have done no worse than the man in there right now. It don't matter who you vote for. You're going to keep catching hell until you make your vote count for black folks. And guess who don't want the black vote organized? Black politicians. You know who fears an organized black vote? Black politicians. You know why? Because if you organize your vote, you can now command them to change their political agenda and their political behavior. You know what that means? That means these goons in office now have to fight white folks for real politically. They don't want to do that. They have coffee with these people. They belong to the Masonic lodges with these people. They play golf with these people. If you organize the black vote, you will make the black Democrat go to war with the Democratic Party. You will make the black Republican go to war with the Republican Party. Them scary Negroes don't want to go to no war. That's why they tell you, just vote. You say, what am I voting for? It don't matter. Your ancestors died for you. And so you go vote expecting nothing because somebody guilt-tripped you into putting another white person or coon in office because your ancestors died for it. Well, I got news for you. My ancestors didn't die for me to vote. They died for freedom. They died for justice. They died for opportunity. They died for equality. Voting was a tactic that they felt would most likely deliver the goal. Stop confusing goals with tactics. Voting was a tactic that the ancestors in the 50s and 60s thought could deliver us the freedom. But now you live in the 21st century. You now have the common sense to look back on the past 55 years since they murdered Dr. King and say, guess what, y'all? The white man has moved the goalposts. Voting alone will get us nothing. We now have to exercise our economic power to bring about the changes we want, because Black America is the only group who will not use your money to achieve political ends. You don't use your money as a weapon. You don't use your money to achieve political ends. It is an absolute travesty that the Black children in California have to go to public schools where they're being miseducated, medicated, special educated, juvenile incarcerated, when you got $2 trillion. You can take your Christmas money, San Diego, and put every Black child in San Diego in an independent school and pay for the teachers. But slavery did something to the Negro psyche. You know what slavery did? It took out from us the natural God-given desire to want to control our destiny. We're the only people who don't want to control our destinies. That's what makes us, look at all the other races in Southern California, throughout California, excuse me. Look at them. They're not waiting for the government to do nothing for them. They're doing it for themselves. There's a Chinatown in almost every major city. There's a little Italy. There's a little Israel. There's a little China, little Japan. Where's the little Africa's at? There's not one Black Wall Street in America now, but Negroes love to celebrate Black Wall Street. 1921, 2021, the centennial of Black Wall Street. Tulsa, Oklahoma, Charleston, South Carolina, Rosewood, Florida, Wilmington, North Carolina. We had dozens of them. Dozens of Black Wall Streets. And we love to celebrate what the ancestors did 100 years ago. But if it was so great, why are you not trying to replicate it? Because Negroes love empty celebrations. You love an empty celebration. You love symbolic politics. Supreme Court Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson. And I'm trying to understand how a sister that chocolate and melanated, beautiful, goes home to an ice man. Black woman, I got to be honest. Don't you imitate these snow bunny loving brothers down here in San Diego. Because I see the sisters say, well, Dr. Umar, the brothers is dating Neanderthal. Why can't I? I'm going to tell you why. Because you have the mitochondrial DNA in your genes. Why so many Black women being kidnapped? Thousands every year. You know why? They want to isolate your E gene. They want to somehow be able to artificially replicate the mitochondrial DNA that only the Black woman has. So they're kidnapping you and your daughter, using you as human research monkeys because they need to isolate the mitochondrial DNA of the African woman. That's right. Henrietta Lacks was just the beginning. The Black woman has divine things happening in her body. All right. That the white power structure needs to replicate for biological weapons and for biological survival of European women. See, the reason that devil shot up that supermarket a few days ago, and he wrote it in his manifesto, you can read it. He said the white population is dwindling. I don't know if y'all know this, 25 of the 50 American states have a diminishing white population. More white people are passing on than being born. In 25, that's half the country. See, when Dr. Francis Cress Welsing in the ISIS papers told you that the #1 reason for white supremacy is genetic white survival, you thought she was crazy. But when you read Peyton's manifesto, he tells you, I'm killing in the interest of white genetic survival. See, segregation was not just about hating black folks. Segregation was about white genetic survival. See, the white man knows how thirsty the American male Negro is for white cookies. So he had to keep you on another part of town, because if he left you around those white girls, you'd go crazy. He's trying to protect his weak gene pool. See, the reason Europeans have such an issue with Africans, because people ask me, they say, Dr. Umar, why they keep killing us? We on the bottom, we disorganized, we don't own nothing. Why can't they leave us alone? You know why? You're the only people on the planet who can reproduce yourself with anybody else on the planet. That's it. See, the European might have all the bombs and the grenades. He might have all the banks. He might control all the resources, but there's one thing he cannot do: reproduce himself with a woman who ain't pale like him. And he hates you. Why do you think 99% of the times when they lynched a black man in America, they always castrated him? They lynched Chinese during the anti-Chinese movement. They lynched Jews. They lynched Irish. They lynched Italians, but they never castrated him. Every time they lynched a black man, they removed his reproductive. You know why? Because that's the threat. He's not intimidated by your size, brother, because not all y'all blessed any damn way. You understand? He's intimidated by your genetic power. The black man can make a black child with any woman. The black woman can make a black child with any man. They hate you for that. That is an advantage that God fixed that nobody can change. Brothers and sisters. Brothers and sisters. Kamala Harris also goes home to an ICE man. Clarence Thomas goes home to an ICE woman. They only choose Negroes who they know will pillow talk anything that they up to with their white spouse. See, white culture is so militaristic. Black folks ain't even caught on to it yet. Everything they do is based on the achievement of their political ends. Even sleeping with you. You are nothing but a means to an end. Kanye West is learning that. What's that actor's name? Robert De Niro's wife. His black wife divorced him. She thought she was going to get half his money. She said, I've been with him all these years. I'm supposed to get half. And the white judge said, you ain't getting half his money. We're going to give you a nice little stipend. And we're going to give you $1 million every year. You stay single. Oh yes, go look it up. But the minute you get married, the $1 million a year stops. See, there's certain rules for white folks, rules for black folks. You're not getting half their money, but they'll get half of yours. Y'all see what they did to Bill Cosby, my North Philadelphia elder? Bill Cosby didn't go to jail because he sexually harassed a woman with a neck like Mike Tyson. That's not why he went to jail. The ugliest thing I've ever seen God forgive. That's not how we like our women in North Philly. We like them curvy and fine. Bill Cosby went to jail because the second largest oil company in the world wanted to drill under a home that him and Camille owns in Massachusetts that's sit next to an untapped source of oil. They would not let the oil company drill. And then they organized all the other homeowners in the neighborhood, most of them white, to not let the oil company drill. So the oil company said, how in the hell can we get rid of Bill and Camille so we can get this damn oil and drill this pipeline under their home? And they said, we're going to have to bankrupt them through the court system, legal fees. So the next thing you know, they find about 50 ugly white girls. I didn't say all white girls were ugly. I said those 50 were. And so 50 white women came out of nowhere and said, Bill Cosby sexually abused me. 30 years ago. Not in 2015. Not in 2010. Not in 05. Not in 2000. But in 74. 75. 76. So let me get this right. You used to be a cute little white girl in the 70s. You get sexually violated by the most powerful and popular black man in entertainment at the time. Remember, Bill Cosby is the first black actor ever with his own television show. Bill Cosby paved the way for Richard Pryor. Bill Cosby is before Denzel, Sidney, and all of them. He's the first. So you mean to tell me you're a privileged white woman, you get sexually harassed by the most powerful black entertainer in the world. You can have him destroyed overnight. You don't say nothing when you was young and cute. You wait 40 years till you old and nasty looking with 3 children. And then you want to wait till you look like a salamander on steroids to tell the world Bill Cosby sexually harassed me, and you have no evidence. None. He gave me some pills.
It was all taking pills.
Why did you take the pills? Because that's what y'all do in Hollywood. And then after he abused you, you stayed in contact with him, hung out with him. I don't know no woman who continues to go back to the source of the sexual abuse after it's taken place. Nope, you know what happened? The white power structure called those women up. And they said, we need y'all to do a job for us. Bill Cosby is blocking our control of resources. See, the one thing we don't get as African people is white folks are committed to other white folks above and beyond their personal relationship with you. You don't understand it because we don't have that with each other. Black folks don't have that. You don't have that stickability. White folks got that stickability. You think it's just sexing them and making babies with them, you got them under control. Oh, hell no. All they need is one phone call and they will shamble your whole damn life in the interest of white power. Your personal relationship with white folks has nothing to do with their commitment to white supremacy. So Joe Biden goes up to Buffalo, him and his wife, and they lay a wreath at the memorial site. I ain't hear nothing about no executive order. I ain't hear nothing about no White House initiative for black folks. I ain't hear nothing about no anti-crime bill against African people. Now they are signing something, but guess what? It ain't just for blacks. It's for everybody. But guess what? The Asian bill was just for Asians. And the Native American bill was just for Native Americans. And the money for the Ukrainians was just for the Ukrainians. And the money for the Afghanis was just for the Afghanis. Why is it they can't do nothing just for black people, but it's okay to do something for any other group exclusively? Because we made it that way. We made it comfortable for the government to take you for granted. You know why? Because you are psychologically homeless people. You are neurotic about your Americanism. And you would rather be called an American than be treated with respect. That's why on July 4th, you niggas gonna be out here cooking hot dogs and shit out there. You can't wait to put your grill out. July 4th, 1776, our ancestors was in the field picking cotton. Cotton picking Negroes, and you out here celebrating Thomas Jefferson's freedom. You out here celebrating Alexander Hamilton's freedom. You out here celebrating George Washington's freedom. What's wrong with you? Benjamin Franklin's freedom. Slave owners, you celebrating their freedom from Britain, but you were still their damn slave. Now, if that's not the definition of a fool, I don't know what is. Why did Joe Biden make Juneteenth a federal holiday? You know why? Because Negroes love empty symbolic victories. He didn't make Juneteenth a holiday because he cared about black folks. He made Juneteenth a federal holiday to kill Juneteenth. They made Dr. King's birthday a federal holiday to kill Dr. King's legacy. They celebrate Kwanzaa at the White House to kill the energy of Kwanzaa. They make Black History Month a nationally recognized celebration to kill the power of it. Do you remember growing up and Black History Month was so powerful? 28 days, there was 28 activities. Every library, every channel. When Black History Month came, from February 1st to the 28th, there was 10 things going on in San Diego at the same time. Back in the 70s and 80s. But once the government put it on a damn stamp, and white folks started celebrating with you, it took all the power and respect out of it. Kwanzaa, remember when Kwanzaa was the biggest thing around? 7 nights of Kwanzaa, the Kwanzaa Bazaar, the Kwanzaa lecture, the Kwanzaa this, the Kwanzaa that. You can hardly find Kwanzaa now the last week of December. Once the government starts celebrating Kwanzaa in the White House, it allows everybody to participate. They kill it, Dr. King's birthday. They turned that into a damn cleanup day. So the government workers can take a day off and let you do the cleaning. How did Dr. King's birthday become a clean up the streets day? I thought Dr. King died for economic justice. I thought Dr. King died for racial equality. How did his birthday become a damn cleanup day? And now Juneteenth. You know why Biden made Juneteenth a holiday? To kill it. Because it's the only thing left that's still authentically black that white folks haven't corrupted until this year. I've been looking around for the Juneteenth holidays. I said I'm going to speak at a Juneteenth, and I'm calling around. Is that Juneteenth run by bourgeoisies, white folks, or is that a grassroots Juneteenth? Nah, Doc, that's Walmart. I call the next city. Who's running your Juneteenth? Nah, Doc, that's Mercedes-Benz. Everywhere I go, the Juneteenth is being sponsored by white power. You can hardly find an organically grassroots Juneteenth left because everybody wants the free money. See, black folks don't have nothing sacred. I want you to listen to me. When I say we have nothing sacred, I'm asking you a real simple question. Can you name me a holiday, a religion, a festival, an institution, a cemetery, a building, a practice, a celebration that nobody can exploit, sell, get paid off, or participate in except black folks? There's nothing sacred in black America. African spirituality, white folks is all in it. Go to New Orleans. You walk down in the French Quarter to the voodoo shops, there's all white folks in there selling you that damn stuff. How you let white folks in voodoo? Jean-Jacques Dessalines turning in his grave. White folks is now the voodoo masters. What kind of shit is this? Dr. King's birthday, that's integrated. And then people mock us and we don't even realize it. Black History Month, everybody working at McDonald's got on their damn Kwanzaa hat. Burger King, Black History Month. Red, black, and green all over the place. They don't do that with Hanukkah with the Jews. They don't do that. The only people, cultural relics and holidays and symbols you can play with is black folks because you let other people participate. All due respect to Dr. Malana Karinga. But when Dr. Karinga said non-Africans can participate in Kwanzaa but they can't lead it, worst thing he could have done. Because for a while, it was all black. And it kept putting pressure, so he adjusted it and said, you can participate in Kwanzaa. If you're not black, you just can't lead it. And now, you go to some Kwanzaa celebrations, it's more white folks than black folks. Juneteenth is about to be co-opted this year. It's already being co-opted now. Somebody just sent me a flyer for a Juneteenth, and everybody speaking is white.
Yo.
You're done! Because you need the government to approve everything you do. You need them to put their stamp on you because of your low self-esteem. I remember I heard Malcolm's daughter, Dr. Tala Shabazz, speak when I was in high school. And somebody asked her, are you upset that your father's birthday is not a federal holiday? This is what they asked the Tala Shabazz. And you know what Malcolm's eldest daughter said? She said, why do you need the white power structure to make my father's birthday a federal holiday in order for you to honor him on his birthday? Why do you need that? Joe Biden gave you a holiday. I don't need no damn holiday from the white man.